All right, guys, how's it going? Eric Johnson from Warfighter Engage. I'm super excited today. I'm, I guess, a few days into being able to stay at the Travis Mills Foundation and experience their incredible program. And I want to introduce you to one of my good friends, Kelly Roseberry, who currently serves on their staff. And Kelly, what do you do? Tell us what you do here.
So I am the Vice President of Program Management here.
Awesome. And Kelly's going to take us through. We're going to look at just a quick tour. Yeah, and let's go.
So the preface behind this was that it was a totally accessible, mobility accessible retreat. And so we're located in the Belgrade Lakes region of Maine. Cool. It's sleeting / snowing outside right now, January, so we're getting the full effect here. So you'll notice as we go around, ignore the tape here, but everything is designed to be wheelchair friendly. So we've had people come here that are quadruple amputees or quadriplegics, people that have had strokes, that have spinal cord injuries, all sorts of things. Some of them are, regular ortho patients. They have a bad knee or back pain. But the design was that it's accessible to everyone.
Yeah.
So this is our living room. People spend lots of time in here hanging out. The weather's bad, they spend more time in here, so we're just going to kind of walk you around, give you a little bit of a tour of what this place looks like. So, no pile carpet, wider spaces between things. This isn't normally here, we were taking a photo, but we make sure that there's lots of space.
Yeah, and now Kelly, you have a background in rehab stuff, right? So
So I'm also a physical therapist.
Yeah. And
I met Eric Johnson with my time at Walter Reed. So I was a PT in the amputee center. You were an OT, so we shared lots of patients, lots of sort of outside the box thinking and treatment approaches. And so I've used lots of that. In here, you can hear my 2-year-old yelling for me right now. Sorry.
Yeah, there's Emma running around.
But we've used lots of those approaches here to make sure that, people are all at a different point in their rehab when they get here. And so we want to make sure that this will meet the needs of anybody who comes through these doors.
And then Walter Reed really kind of set us up for this kind of thinking outside the box style, right? So it was a perfect situation to bring you in and you planned so much of this. A lot of this was your kind of brainchild.
It is a little bit of my baby, and bringing that experience from the clinic and from the hospital of recognizing that if I had patients that would go on these trips, I would hear what did they like about them, what did they not like about them, how bad of a shape they were in when they got back, and so what could we do to avoid those things. And so I was at an advantage to be able to sort of take the best of what everyone else was doing and try and roll that into our program and into our facility. Yeah,
that's awesome. And of course, with a lot of these blast injuries and amputees comes a lot of complex polytrauma, right? So it wasn't just an amputation. It might be amputation and a brain injury, or amputation and some nutrition issues. So what do we got here?
We're gonna take a peek in here. We've got this is our dining room. So everybody sits and eats meals together. In the corner, you'll see it's a sort of buffet style. We've got a commercial grade kitchen in there. My kid is eating breakfast here today. It's a holiday, which means no daycare, so our families come too.
Yeah.
So we're gonna head downstairs. There's an elevator right next door as well. Good old ADA speed, so it goes nice and slow on the way down, but we'll take the stairs here.
Cool.
So part of what we do is we have families come as well. So it was really important in Travis and Kelsey's vision to be able to incorporate the support system and the families, because when somebody is injured or goes through any sort of polytrauma accident, it affects the dynamics of everyone in the family.
Yeah.
The fact that Travis has to put on 3 or 4 limbs before he can go anywhere, that affects Chloe's spontaneity of wanting to go play in the snow or whatever it is. So we wanted to create a place here where everyone had something.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see. This is our playroom. It's been used a little bit today, so we've got some stuff out, but the kids can come in here and just wreak havoc and destroy it, and then we pick it up several times a day. And but it gives them sort of a safe space where they can hang out, they can be normal, they can be with other kids whose moms and dads are in a wheelchair or put on arms and legs or whatever, and it's just nobody blinks at it.
Yeah, perfect. That's awesome. Yeah, I think it's so important to have the family dynamic part of it, because again, there might be some solutions we figure out for different types of people that come through, but really the families are going to be the ones that support them later, right? So
when you're having your worst day, your family's the one that feels that impact the most. So here we've got more people hanging out. So this is our movie room. So again, just a great space for relaxing, hanging out. Hey guys. Today's
all right, Fox,
day.
we're doing a video, okay, buddy? So,
today's a travel day, so we've got people hanging out, waiting for their flights. We actually just put a new addition on. We opened it this past fall. This is we call it the Hawk, our health and wellness center.
Okay.
Anybody that's Air Force, they call their wellness centers the Hawk.
I love that.
So you'll see, again, extra wide hallways. Oh, that's a dehumidifier. Low pile carpet, commercial grade low pile carpet. Here on the left, we've got an art space. So lots of rooms for chairs to go under. We have lots of tables set up, but we don't always have this many tables. Convenient sink with wheelchair access underneath if needed. So
when you guys plan like a week, for guys and gals to come in, you'll plan activities throughout the day, right? It's not like you just come here and you sit on the couch and watch TV and hang out, right? It's
almost
pretty active.
No one does that.
Right.
So we have activities scheduled from pretty much sun up to sundown, sometimes and beyond. Nothing's required that anybody participate in. And as much of it as we can do on site as possible, we do. So that if a kid's having a meltdown and needs a nap, or somebody's in pain and wants to lay down, or you just don't like archery after you shoot a couple of arrows, you're not committed in being off site and having to wait, or disrupt everybody else to be able to go back. You can just shoot a few arrows and, hey, this isn't my thing. Go back down to the waterfront, get in the pool, go back to your room and lay down, whatever it is you want to do. Everybody has different needs when they come here. And so we try to create an environment in which there are opportunities for anybody to fall in love with some new activity that they might not try, but nobody has to feel committed.
A lot of it is exploration, right? We did one of the activities we did was we painted these Maine
lobster buoys,
right? And which is something very specific to, I don't know if we have any here, but to Maine, and it was really cool because the story behind it is also significant, right? And
so you get to take a little piece of it home with you.
Yeah. And one thing too that was really neat was just I noticed that each activity, you cater it to make sure that everybody can engage. So we had somebody here with a brain injury that might be in a wheelchair that couldn't hop around somewhere. So you would have a different way to be able to do some of these activities.
Or a different grip. So if somebody has grip issues, they can do that. This weekend we had lots of people with upper extremity issues because that's what they were doing adaptive gaming with. And so that makes it difficult to use a leather press or use, whatever. And so we have just sort of, and the idea behind any adaptation that we do is that it's transferable to home.
Sure.
So we don't have any kind of crazy equipment
Big,
here.
huge.
You'll see, I'm going to take you through the gym here in a minute. There's nothing adaptive about what's in that gym because if I could put you on a $250,000 adaptive treadmill here, that's great. But then when you go home, where are you going to find one of those again? And it doesn't do me any good to teach you how to use something you'll never see again. So
well, let's move our way down there. And now you mentioned that this weekend we did more of a upper extremity kind of focus. And so you guys can cater to different types, different regions, different kinds of injuries, right? And you have obviously some physical disability type situations, but you guys also you cater to mental health and other things like that as well, right?
We have a totally different program called Warrior Path.
Okay.
It started as a partnership. Here, if you want to just peek in here as we walk by. This is our commercial grade laundry room, which is incredibly exciting. We just, again, opened this fall. Makes us so much more efficient at turnover. We can get things cleaned and ready to go even faster.
That's awesome.
So Warrior Path started as a partnership with the Boulder Crest Foundation. It's now called the Avalon Action Alliance. And it's for those more invisible wounds of war. And people don't necessarily have to be, struggling at their lowest to be able to benefit from that. It's teaching you to struggle well and to live, a life worth living. That's sort of your best version of yourself. And it's a phenomenal program.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we've got a couple of bathrooms here. Nothing super special about them, but there are grab bars. There's room under the sink. The mirror tilts so that if somebody's in a wheelchair and needs to come down.
Smart.
The thing to the right of the water is actually a electronic hand dryer.
Cool.
So you don't
That's awesome.
necessarily have to have good dexterity. There are bidets on all of the bathrooms in this building.
Smart.
That was something that we realized we didn't have in the original building, so we have it in here. You have to make sure you have electricity near the toilet.
And these floors are a little bit more concrete because it's trying to absorb water and no slip surfaces. Is that right?
No slip surfaces, which is really tricky because concrete typically is a slip surface.
Yeah.
So these have sort of a special like sandblast finishing on them that makes them. We were in there yesterday with playing some sponge games,
Yes, we were.
and it was not slippery, which was nice.
Yeah.
So the bathroom part of this changing room is the same. We have accessible things here, but this is what's really, we're really proud of the bathroom in here. So we've got a regular high-low shower on this side, so if somebody wants to stand, they can do that. However, the controls and a whole nother faucet are within reach of somebody that needs to sit. So it's not like you'll get in here and the water is too hot or too cold and then you can't reach it or you need help. So this accessibility and the setup in the bathroom is something that we spend a lot of time on. We're super proud of.
Yeah, I love this accessible design. Like a lot of people think about, like they don't think about just like controls for the shower. So typically I would have to come into a shower. The controls are right where the water is. And if you're in a chair and you're putting on cold water, like you could get sprayed. So the ability to like be on the outside of a shower and just reach in and start using the controls here, get the water working and everything. That is great. I think it's an incredible design. Whoever started to do that is amazing.
Yes, we spent lots of time on that. So 2 sets of hooks so that you can reach it from a chair. Just again, little details that sometimes get overlooked. But if you ask somebody with a disability about, how is it when they're traveling, oftentimes if you ask a hotel to see their most accessible room, it's a joke.
It's a joke, yeah.
So here is our pool.
Yeah.
It's got a cover on it right now. Helps us control the heat and the humidity in this room. Yeah, some beautiful architecture in here.
Oh, it's incredible.
We do have a lift over here. We also have under this, I can show you.
Yeah.
So in that corner there,
That's
we
quick.
have some sort of wider stairs. We don't have a railing because it was important that we have the cover. But if somebody wants to sit in the water and doesn't have, the ability to be in deeper water, they have that option there. It also allows somebody like a double amputee to transfer up those stairs and get out.
Yes.
There are very similar steps, just one step in each corner in the deeper end as well.
And I love this because you also have these kind of like garage type doors where in the summer you can open them up.
If you go over there, you can see, you get a lake view.
Yeah.
So the idea is to have these things open in the summer. The lake is frozen right now, but
You can see way out there.
just past that. So we're that little island that looks like an elephant right there in the middle. Like that's in the middle of the lake. It's 1 mile from the shoreline.
Wow.
So you can see. So we do things like ice fishing down on the lake in the winter. We've got a tennis and basketball court right here. It also has pickleball lines on it. It will also function as an ice rink for sled hockey by next
Oh my
winter.
gosh, really?
Yeah.
So cool. And you guys will, I'm sure, have the sleds and everything for
Yep. So that's why 1 more year in making.
Yeah.
This building we opened this year, so we needed to focus on getting all of the things. Like you can see, we don't have any furniture in here yet, but we needed to focus on that. And then next year we'll get. They have lots of things. They're just clip-in ice rinks. And so we'll clear the snow, we'll put the ice rink down, and then
amazing.
They'll be able to play right there, have easy access to it.
So Travis Mills Foundation, it's you guys do fundraising. It's a very
all private donations,
donation based,
no federal funding for anything that we do. All the generosity of
I love that.
Private Americans that believe in Travis's story and in the mission. And we'll get people that'll send like their lunch money or like $2.50 because that's what they have, and then you have people that'll do $1 million match, and every dollar matters, and we try and use it as responsibly as we can. So again another elevator in this building, but we're gonna take the stairs.
Okay. And even like these small things like having reflective strips on the stairs and gripping things it's the small, tiny details that I've been so impressed by. Like, you haven't forgotten anything, you know? And I'm literally I'm doing my doctorate in accessibility stuff, and you just pulled out all the stops. Like, I'm so impressed.
We had some extra time because of COVID to fine tune these designs. Like, I should have mentioned downstairs. So when we walked from one building to the other, it was a little bit of a downhill corridor. So we've got this beautiful barnwood, which, you know, looks like a pretty design feature, but ultimately it was put on the walls because people in their wheelchairs or kids in their wagon were damaging the drywall. So it makes it a little bit more rugged, but also looks really nice.
Yeah, it's smart. It's intelligent design right there.
So here's our gym.
And this is also pretty new, correct?
This whole building opened in September. So it's January, but we had some kinks to kind of work out. So this weekend is the first weekend it was like fully accessible and able to use. And you can see all generic you would find in any gym sort of equipment.
And like you said, you know, it's like stuff that, hey, we want to train you to use equipment that you would find at maybe your local gym so that you can use it. And you have a tonal up there, which is kind of new, trendy.
New, trendy, but also incredibly adaptable. So in this corner is a Pilates reformer. So that's how you buy it. There's nothing adaptable about it. But it has so many various handles and attachments because of what they want you to do as part of Pilates. And those handles and attachments are very adaptive. They lend themselves to being adaptive. They also go very well on a tonal.
That's amazing.
And so part of what we do after somebody comes here is they fill out a survey and then they're eligible to apply for essentially a financial grant from us where we continue to help them meet goals. So we want to capitalize on the motivation they find when they're here. And so we establish goals with them and then we follow up with them throughout the year. And so this tonal machine is something that we have bought for participants in the past. They come here, they use it, they realize it really doesn't take up a whole lot of room. They've got a great wall, they can do it at home. Their infection risk is low because they don't have to go to a gym, like all of those kinds of things. And so then, you know, we can buy that for them and then they can have it at their home, because the idea is that the carryover effect for going home is that they, you know, are able to continue to do these things.
And I hope I'm not overstating, but if for some reason like you did get a tonal and you needed some help because you were struggling to get it to work, they could probably just like contact you guys and be like, all right, we'll walk you through it.
100%.
Absolutely.
Or, you know, we've had patients that are like, hey, I have this home gym. We don't call them patients, we call them participants. Hey, I have this home gym, but like I'm not in therapy anymore. I don't like really know what to do. It's like, I got you. No problem.
I can set up a plan for you.
Absolutely.
Cool. Awesome. Do we want to go out to the front? Or?
I'm going to peek in right here real quick.
That's
so
right.
We have a small fitness room in here, so if people want a little bit more sort of quiet space. These attachments in the ceiling right here are for TRX straps, so we can have a class of 6 TRX students in it, which again is a very versatile, doesn't take up a lot of space piece of equipment people can have at home. And then in here we've got our massage room. So during standard weeks we offer massages to all. It's set up to use as a meditation room right now, but yeah, great space.
Awesome. And so again, you have like if the spouses come, you can have like a couples massage. You have caregivers, maybe like moms and stuff.
We have moms, we have dads, sisters, brothers, all the people.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we'll pop our head outside. You want to go back into the regular building?
Yeah, let's do that. And a little bit out here, so you guys will notice like there's a lot of attention here as well, like playgrounds out here for the kids, and even in this cold weather, we've had the kids playing out here, right? And so it's awesome for them. And then tell us a little bit about the ropes course. You might be able to see over there.
Yeah, so we have a high ropes course over there. It was actually built as part of a Facebook show with Mike Rowe called Returning the Favor. So he was highlighting Travis and his good work that he's doing for others, and in return, he literally built that ropes course in 3 days. We had a crew come up here. We added the rock walls on the side afterwards. And had to add quite a bit of some adaptation stuff to be able to make it accessible. But we can get somebody in a wheelchair
cool.
up and complete the first level.
Probably not in the ice right now, huh?
No, so we don't run it if it's essentially below freezing, but
Probably
really,
smart.
if it's not fun if it's not like maybe in the 50s. So
Yeah.
we shut it down in the fall.
You're up in the
'cause you're holding
you're
a
up in the
wire,
world. Yeah.
and yeah, you know, it's
cold.
cold. It gets
Yeah.
it's sleeting right now. Like this is a little bit slippery out here,
Yeah.
despite the fact that it's been salted. So you know, you're not trying to put somebody up on a ropes course and let them.
Well, and even this is actually a good kind of transition. Like you guys also are fully staffed, right? So like you
Fully
always
staffed.
have somebody available if something
see a
goes
room?
wrong.
We can go in this
Sure.
room.
If you like if in the middle of the night you need something, they have a staff member that lives right across the way. You can
Yep.
grab a walkie-talkie and just be like, James, I need some help, you know, and he can come, you know, get you that that Coke that you were you know, trying to
No,
find.
you have access to that on your own.
Yeah, so
So this is an example. This is our smallest room, but it's a good example so that you can see careful.
Yeah.
This is really slick.
yep.
We pulled the mats and cheese and somewhere else. Nobody was in here this week, so you've got a bed. This is again, like I said, a smaller room. But if you come in here, you can see. So all the lights in the bathrooms come on by themselves.
Yeah.
We've got an extra bench here if somebody wants a wider bench. We've got collapsible.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, let's roll right in.
Yep. So we've got a bench that folds off the thing, but it's not super deep. So sometimes somebody like Travis, if you know you don't have feet to plant on the floor, feels like it's too short, so they'll pull this over and they'll put it next to it, so it's got a little bit more
Yep.
access.
Yeah.
Again, low hooks, tiltable mirror, nothing underneath the shower. 2 grab bars by the toilet.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, and then also you guys got free Wi-Fi for your guests.
Yep.
If for some reason they just want to get away for a minute, they can come in here and just relax. TVs, they have fridges in here. It's been really cool to, you know, be kind of a participant on top of, you know, coming out to help. So, and also like you guys have reached out to different types of groups that do things well, you know, and say, hey, can you come in and provide a service like with us, you know?
Right. So we recognize that like there are some things that we're really good at, but we can't be really good at everything.
Yeah.
So instead we'll bring people in who are good at their thing. You know, like I am not a horse person. I don't know everything there is to know about horseback riding. Yeah. But I'm a therapist, so I know how to get somebody on a horse, and so I'll get them on the horse safely and then they'll take it from there.
Yeah.
Or
great.
you know, we had a barbecue competition where Operation Barbecue Relief came in and they taught caregiver dads who were here all the secret trades of barbecue, and then they had a big competition where you know we got to eat it all. But you know, part of what we do is that we create a network and we do like warm handoffs with people to other organizations. I can't help you build a house, but if you don't have an accessible house, I can hand you off to a human being at another organization that can do that for
knows
you.
what to do for that. Yeah.
Right. Because otherwise you end up being kind of okay at everything instead of really good at whatever it is that you're doing. So
awesome.
we try and stay as focused as we can.
Cool. Well, Kelly, thank you so much for the tour. There's a bunch of other stuff. Maybe we'll do another one of these in the summer when it's green.
Oh, when it's green.
Yeah, and we can take them down to the lake and show them.
We have accessible kayak launch down there, and a ramp, all that kind of stuff. So
awesome. So anyway, thank you so much, and I appreciate just being able to be here to collaborate with you guys with Travis Mills Foundation. You guys, if you're watching this, I can't tell you enough. If you have a service member that might be interested in kind of exploring themselves a little bit different, or somebody that's struggling, like please reach out to Travis Mills. The foundation is designed to help all of our service members that have been struggling with anything, whether it be a physical disability, cognition, mental health. So please do look at that. If you're somebody that needs this, don't feel like you shouldn't reach out also. Like a lot of people feel like that's not something that they need, but this is what they're here for. So
sometimes by being the veteran that's here, you're helping those around you.
Absolutely. So anyway, so thank you, Kelly, and the whole Travis Mills Foundation crew. You guys have been incredible this weekend, and I can't wait to work with you guys in the future.
Sweet.
See ya.